Welcome. If you found this meditation, perhaps you're experiencing physical pain, or emotional pain, or perhaps both. Before we begin, I'd like to offer one simple reminder. This meditation is not about ignoring injuries or refusing appropriate medical care. Rather, it is an invitation to discover a different relationship to unavoidable pain, to come to see who is resisting the pain, and ultimately who you are. For thousands of years, contemplative traditions have pointed toward a profound discovery. Pain is part of being alive. But suffering, the struggle, the resistance need not always accompany it. Today, we're not trying to escape pain. We are learning to know it so intimately that something unexpected begins to happen. The resistance begins to soften. The one who was battling the body begins to relax. The one who was battling the mind begins to relax. It is always the mind itself that battles the mind. It is only the ego that goes to war, or tries to change what is. In meditation and inquiry, the mind begins to surrender, not giving up, but letting go of the struggle against what is already here. It is about stopping the fight against what is, because it already is. That battle is already lost. If pain is here, then you compound that pain when you resist it. You only multiply your pain if you resist what already is. The pain, the thing that the mind resists, is the very thing inviting us to see the truth, to see where we are attached, where we are identified with the false I, the conditioned self, made of patterns of craving and aversion. From this perspective, pain is not a hindrance. It is actually the intelligence of the body saying, bring attention here. Look more deeply. What seems to stand in the way is the way. Now, allow your body to settle. There's nowhere to go. Nothing to accomplish, nothing to fix. Simply arrive here, now. Allow the breath to be exactly as it is. No need to try to breathe deeply. No need to control the breath. Simply allow yourself to be breathed. Feel the gentle movement of the breath throughout the body. Notice if there is any tendency to tighten or to brace, to hold the breath against the pain. If you notice any contraction, simply allow the next exhale to soften. Nothing is being forced. Nothing manipulated, just allowing. Now, gently bring your attention toward the body, not searching for pain, just becoming intimate with what is already here. Notice if the attention immediately wants to move into thought. Sometimes the mind will generate a dialogue. I don't want this. When will this end? What if it gets worse? Why is this happening to me? Each of these thoughts pulls attention away from direct experience, into memory, anticipation, into fear, into resistance. For just this moment, we're going to leave the story behind. Not by pushing it away, but simply by becoming more interested in what is actually here. Instead of thinking about the pain, we become curious. What is actually here right now? Not the words, not the diagnosis, not the memory. What is actually here right now? Maybe there's warmth, maybe pressure, maybe burning, maybe pulsing, or tightness, or vibration. Maybe there's movement. Does the sensation have a shape, a location in the body, a boundary, a center? Is it changing in intensity moment by moment? Is it oscillating? Appearing, disappearing? We're not looking for anything in particular, but just bringing attention to the whole pattern of the phenomena that is arising in this moment. Notice that what we call pain is not one solid thing. It's a living field of changing sensations, never completely still, never exactly the same. Moment by moment, life expressing itself as sensation. Just stay here. Again and again, we return to this field of changing sensations. Each time attention becomes entangled in resistance, each time the mind generates a dialogue, this shouldn't be happening, I can't bear this, what if this never ends? Then the nervous system tightens, the breath contracts, the body contracts, attention narrows. The mind begins looping through familiar pathways. This is never a problem. It's just a conditioned pattern. But there's another possibility. Without adding any judgment, without imagining any future, without comparing this moment with the past, without memory or language, without evaluation, then the nervous system begins receiving direct information. Instead of reinforcing fear and resistance, it begins to recognize what is actually here. Not a solid wall of pain, but a living field of changing sensations. Moment by moment, wave by wave, this simple shift from the story, from what's happening in the conditioned mind, to direct experience is where freedom begins. Become deeply curious. What is actually happening? There seems to be this body resting here. Within the body, this living field of changing sensations. Notice, before there are words, before there's a name, before it's good or bad, before pain or pleasure, there's simply aliveness at the root level or subtlest level that you can perceive. Keep attention at the level of change itself. When you start to observe change itself, the mind might try to engage in conditioned activity. It might search memory. Can you catch that precise moment when direct experience once again becomes a concept? Just notice. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be stopped. We are simply making conscious what has always been happening unconsciously. Notice what comes next. Maybe the mind again begins thinking about the future. See how quickly sensation becomes a story and turns into resistance. See how at the center of the story there's a sufferer, a me that suffers. Just notice, who is that one resisting? Thoughts arise like clouds passing in the open sky. Just allow everything to be as it is, remaining equanimous or okay with what is. Nothing needs to improve. Nothing needs to disappear. No need to escape this moment. No need to endure it. No need to conquer it. Simply watch as life unfolds exactly as it wishes. Even the resistance itself is allowed. If you resist the resistance that is already present, it just feeds the cycle. Even fear is allowed. Nothing is excluded. Awareness has room for everything. The sensations that are arising are known. The thoughts that are arising are known. The resistance is known. Fear is known. Even attention itself is known. Known by whom? Become curious. Who or what is aware? Is there something even more fundamental? Something that is effortlessly aware of both attention and distraction? Aware of the field of changing phenomena? Rest there. Rest as that awareness. Simply notice. Now allow attention to soften. Rather than focusing tightly upon one area, feel the whole body. As the body breathes in, feel sensations throughout the entire body. As the body breathes out, feel sensations throughout the entire body. The hands, the feet, the face, the breath, the sounds around you, the space surrounding the body. Awareness itself has no edges, no location. No preference. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Thoughts are being known. Reactions are being known. All appearing within awareness itself. Rest there. Notice the changing nature of every sensation. Nothing remains the same. Everything flows. Everything arises and passes away. This is the pulse of life itself, the field of changing energy. Stay with this field of change. Stay so close that there's no longer any distinguishing of observer and observed. This rewiring of the nervous system takes time, persistence, but not to achieve some goal, not to achieve some dissolving or merging, but simply to remain with what is. And remaining with what is takes no time. It only happens now. Again, return to the field of changing phenomena. Long before the mind says this is unbearable, there is simply direct experience. Fresh, immediate, alive. Each sensation arriving for the first time. Make each moment new. Sometimes the intensity increases. Sometimes it softens. Neither is a problem. Your task is not to make pain disappear. Your task is simply to know this moment completely as it is. Not as you would like it to be, but as it actually is. Moment by moment, without adding the extra weight of resistance, of thought, of evaluation. Directly, without the story. At first, pain seems like an obstacle, something standing in the way of peace, something to escape, something to overcome. But as you remain present, if you stay close to the field of changing sensations, you begin to realize it has been your teacher all along. Each sensation is revealing something, not merely about the body, but about the mind. Each moment of contraction, each impulse to resist, each story that says, "I can't bear this," is gently illuminating a place where identification still remains. The pain is showing you where the mind is still holding on, where it still says, "This must not be." And because it reveals this, the pain becomes a doorway, not a barrier to awakening, but the very bridge. Every sensation becomes an invitation to release another layer of resistance, another layer of attachment, another layer of the one who struggles. Without these sensations, many of these hidden attachments would remain unseen. Remain with the sensation, not the story, not the memory, just this living field of changing sensations. In this way, your relationship to pain changes. Every sensation faithfully points us, again and again, back to the truth of who and what we are. Back to this moment. Back to simple awareness. Every sensation, when met with awareness instead of resistance, becomes a purification of inner conditioning, another step towards samadhi. Who is aware? Who is aware of this entire unfolding? This is not a question to answer with the mind, but an invitation to look directly. Can the one who is aware be found anywhere within the changing sensations? Anywhere within thoughts? Within resistance? Awareness was never trapped. Awareness was never wounded. Awareness was never bound by the changing conditions of the body or mind. The greatest healing is not found in the disappearance of pain, but in the discovery that what you truly are has never been touched by pain. Pain may come like wind, like passing weather, but awareness remains, like the open sky untouched by any cloud. Again and again, life invites you home, not away from this moment, but into it. In the Hermetic tradition, there is a saying, "The way out is the way in. The way in is the way out." The great way into this living field of experience, into awareness itself. Thank you for practicing today. May you discover peace even in the midst of life's inevitable challenges. May you find the stillness at the center of every spiral. And may you come to know through your own direct experience that while pain may sometimes be unavoidable, suffering is optional.